Hey guys, welcome to the next edition of the Maracle Seating. As a reminder, I'm your host, Christian Maracle. I don't know why I said that's a reminder, but oh well. Okay, so this is episode 2 of the Maracle Seating, and I'm reminding you, the fans here, that this show exists because, well, it's my own original material, and you guys requested that. This is something as good as, well, this is as good as it's going to get for now, until I find something different. But, anyways, today's topic, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my music career. I used to be a drummer of a death metal band entitled Behold the Shadows, and all this was entirely recent. Let's see. The band began from 2011 and ended in earlier this year. And I was the drummer for that band. I was pretty psychotic, and I'm going to be telling you the entire story of this band and how we formed, how we did, and what eventually led to the end. Alright then, so sit back, get some popcorn if you want to, maybe grab a beer, and enjoy the story. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my content, and the whole shebang. Alright, let's get started on the story of Behold the Shadows, my former death metal band. Alright, let's see, where do I begin? I think where I should go back is where I got an interest in playing the drums. Let's see, for I don't know, literally the first 14 years of my life, I had absolutely no interest in playing music. I never wanted to be in a band. I was more of a guy who just wanted to listen to the music rather than just play it. Let's see. I had a lot of favorite bands. A lot of them are still my favorite, including Slayer, Cannibal Corpse, Suicide Silence. There's a lot of others. Lamb of God, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Led Zeppelin was one of my main influences. I'll get more on that a little bit later on, but let's see, I'll just go ahead and say my favorite drummer has to be either Dave Lombardo, who used to be the drummer of Slayer, Paul Mazukiewicz, who's the current drummer of Cannibal Corpse, and, well, there's actually just a little bit too much to list, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you my main influence. My main influence, and the reason I decided to play the drums, was the legendary drummer of Led Zeppelin, the late great John Bonham. I enjoyed listening to Led Zeppelin for about a year or so, starting in 2010. And, let's see, my brother Joe Maracle, who becomes the lead guitarist of this band, Behold the Shadows, he bought a DVD entitled Led Zeppelin, The Song Remains the Same. It's a live performance by the band from the 1970s. It's pretty awesome. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, you know it was a great concert. Great thing to look back on, too. For some reason, a lot of the concerts back in the 70s were pretty awesome. Even then, the music of today is also pretty kick-ass. Because Led Zeppelin, in many terms, is, how would I say, the influence of metal, the metal genre. Let's see. What really made me want to play the drums was when the band started playing Moby Dick. I love that song. John Bonham does literally a 10-minute drum solo. And I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. I mean, that guy, wow, whoa, huh, cool. The story that went with that drum solo was pretty interesting as well. You know, they were doing those solos. Each member of the band at some point of that film had like a story or something with their characters. But that's not really important right now. But what's important is after watching that entire solo, I'm like, wow! All of a sudden I want to play the drums now. I should learn how to play the drums. I should do that. Yeah. So I looked around, like, where do I begin? Get a drum set, maybe take some lessons. But here's the thing, some of my favorite songs, other than Moby Dick, was, I like a lot of Slayer's songs. Like, one of my favorites is World Painted Blood, Disciple, Angel of Death and Raining Blood from Slayer. When it comes to Cannibal Corpse, I really loved Hammer Smash Face. That is one of my all-time favorite songs because it's my opportunity to go psycho on the drums. All right. In like March of 2011, I actually got my first drum set. I forget what it was. I think it was like it said it was a basics or something. Yeah, it was like a basic drum kit. And here's the thing. I started going on it. I started playing on the drums, and I was thinking to myself, maybe, I don't know, maybe I might not just. I probably think, yeah, I'm not going to be as good as I think I am. As it turns out, I was a little better than I thought I was. I don't know why. It's like, for some reason, within 2 to 3 months of me learning how to play the drums, I ended up being able to play Disciple by Slayer in accurate succession. It's hard to believe, only 3 months of playing the drums, and I was playing almost as fast and almost as accurate as former drummer Slayer Dave Lombardo. It was fun. It's as though I had like this, I secretly had the abilities of playing the drums. Anyways, that's how I got to play the drums. But for a while it was just about me playing the drums and playing covers, recording myself, which I don't have the videos anymore. I don't know where they went. But I'm going to go ahead and skip right ahead to how this band formed. Because, well, this has just been going on for almost 7 minutes now, and I've just talked about myself. Let's see, the band members, we first met each other, Joe Maracle is my brother, so I've known him all my life. Let's see, the other members, Dave and Jake Hill, who are also original founders, they're also brothers. So when this band formed, it was 2 sets of brothers, the Hills and the Maracles. Let's see, I think I first met Dave in one of my classes at school. I think Joe did as well, a construction class. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how they met. Jake, I think I literally first met him when he and Dave came to my brother's house, my house, and because we had an interest in music. I think that was the first time I met him. As for, I don't know. I'm just saying what I did. All right. Let's see. In September of 2011. My mom, my brother and I, we moved into a house. Not going to tell you where. I don't want you guys finding me. Dave and Jake, they welcomed us into that house because I think belonged to their grandmother or something like that. We also had talked about, like, we each had like an interest in playing this type of music, playing that. We also talked about how we almost had these same influences, same favorite songs, same bands, and we're like, you guys play music, right? Yeah, that's cool. Because Dave, I believe, was a guitarist who went on to become a bass guitarist. Jake also plays a guitar, and he plays the piano. I don't know if he still does, but he used to. And then one day we decided, you should bring your stuff over to my place. And so one day, Dave and Jake, they brought their equipment over to my house, and like their amps, their guitars, chords, pretty much, etc. All you get. And we played a couple songs. And the moment Dave and Jake left, I think they intentionally left their amps and guitars behind. Because they're like, we're coming back, man. This was awesome. We should do this a lot. Let's see. And on October 13th, 2011, that's where we finally said, we should now form a band. Let's form a heavy metal band. And so on October 13th, 2011 was the birth of Behold the Shadows and the beginning of my music career. Yay! The first few times we practiced, we mainly played many cover songs, like a few Metallica songs, like Enter Sandman, Home the Bell Tolls, Creepin' Death, Megadeth songs like Holy Wars, Peace Cells. What else did we play? I think we also did Raining Blood of Slayer. It was mainly those bands, like members of the Big Four. I like the Big Four: Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica. They were awesome. And let's see. When we were trying to figure out what we were gonna call ourselves, we're like, naming the band is actually a little bit harder than we thought it would be. But we came up with the name Dantelanide, and let me say that slower so you guys can know what I just said. Dantelanide. It never lasted that long because, well, a lot of people, they couldn't even pronounce it properly, and I don't blame them. A lot of times I forgot exactly what we were talking about. What the hell are we called again? What was our name? Didn't really last that long. And in about November to December, we finally decided to start creating our own original songs. We pretty much literally just played a riff, tried something, then added something a little different to it, and eventually that became our first ever original. It's called Threat, which is one of my favorites. I wrote the lyrics to that song. It's pretty fun. The other one is also a very interesting original song. It's called Before Night Arrives. It didn't have any lyrics, no matter how many times we played it. It was just an instrumental song. One time we actually played that song for about 15 and a half minutes. I know that because Joe, he recorded it on his GarageBand on his laptop, and after we were done, we looked back on it, we were like, wow, 15 and a half minutes. That was awesome. I mean, we were just playing a few awesome catchy riffs, catchy beats, and we didn't stop for a long time because we were like, this is awesome, let's not stop, this is great. So yeah, Threat and Before Night Arrives was our first two originals. We played those songs for about a couple of years before we eventually advanced into death metal. If you want to hear about a funny sequence that happened in the band's history, around late November or something like that, there was a flood, like a faucet flood or something like that. A flood going on in my basement. When we met because of the way the floor was, paved and everything. The the amps and the drum set was on like a small hill-like thing, and it was barely avoiding the water that was literally everywhere. And we were like, holy shit, we gotta get all the freaking amps out of there now. So we were like all panicking, getting the amps out of there. I'm like, you can go ahead and leave my drum set there. I don't think it's gonna get touched. And I just protected it with a few other things. It was just Joe and I. We managed to get the amps back up the stairs. Then we had to keep them up there for quite some time just so the flood could be taken care of. But the best part was the next day at school, I went into Dave and Jake. We were hanging out during lunch break, and I literally told Jake, dude, there was a flood in our house, and it fucking ruined everything. The amps, dude, they're like fucking totaled, man. They're like no more. And Jake, he's like he doesn't say a thing. He's like, what? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Then I'm like, dude, I'm not kidding at all. There was like a flood in our basement because, there was like that hole in the corner. And, yeah, the amps are now fried. And Jake, he just grabs each side of his head. He's like, no. And then I'm like, yeah, just imagine that if that actually happened. And truth be told, I nearly got my ass whooped. But I let him know we saved the amps. I said the flood was real, but we saved the amps. Eventually the flood got taken care of, and we eventually moved out of that house and moved into another one. Let's see, and going into the new year, we were like, we gotta book our first ever gig because we got so many awesome covers and our two originals that we want to play. We should totally play those in front of a crowd, see what we can do. And so, January 21st, I think it was, of 2012, we booked the Six Nations Community Hall in Ashwaubenon. And, sorry, I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper as I'm talking. Dr. Pepper, not sponsoring this event. We booked the Six Nations Community Hall in January 21st, 2012, I think, for our first ever concert. And we invited our family members, quite a few friends. think about a total of at least 20 people who showed up, but we didn't care. It was our first ever gig. We didn't expect like, I don't know, like 80,000 people to show up. Let's see, the first concert we had it documented, I believe. We had it filmed. I think I have the footage at my house currently. I don't have it on my laptop, but I have it at my house on a DVD. Because I'm not the one that recorded it. It was my aunt that did it. She's like an amazing filmmaker. Documentation. But, let's see. A lot of the times when we look back on it, we're like, wow, we fucking sucked. We fucking sucked. That's, wow. But that was in the present day when we look back on it. Back then we were like, wow, that was awesome, man. Look at that. This was great. The funniest part was to be Jake. He kept butchering the lyrics to Diamond Head's Am I Evil? I didn't think he knew all of them, so he just made up stuff as he went along, and it just happened to go with the beat. But I'm not going to go into any details about what he did, but I'm just letting you know, every time we watch it, even back then, we always just have a good laugh. But the first ever concert we had was amazing. We played like so many covers, our 2 originals. I think that lasted for almost an hour or something like that. But yeah, it was pretty fun for our first concert. But then after the first concert, people were like, "You guys gotta stop calling yourselves Dantelanide, because we can't say that, man. We keep forgetting what it is." And so we decided to call ourselves something much more easy to pronounce. And so after like a while, I think Joe came up with the name Seeking Asylum. Seeking Asylum. It was pretty fun. Seeking Asylum. At least people was able to pronounce that one. Yeah, we had to relocate to a new practice area ever since, like, because the house that I used to live in, we didn't really like it at all, so we moved somewhere else that was much more better. So the band's relocated to that area as well. As 2012 continued on, we worked on a couple more originals. See, some of this new stuff we played was one of my favorite songs that we played. Is called The Harlot. It's kind of hard to, for some reason, I don't know why, it's kind of hard to describe how awesome the songs are without almost like making like imitation of the noises of the way the riffs went and the beat. Another one was Death Impalement, which is also another good one because we begin the song not by me hitting the hi-hat 4 times, but hitting the bass drum 4 times to pretty much get people in the mood for upcoming moshing. Speaking of moshing, the next time we performed at the Six Nations Community Hall, which was like a month after our first one, there was a little less people than last time, but more of our friends showed up to that one. And because of the open space there was, during one of our last songs, we had our first ever mosh pit. Our friends were literally going all over the open area. Like moshing, pushing, shoving, you name it. I don't know exactly, but I think one of our friends may have got lifted up in the air. I don't know. But even Jake, while playing the guitar on the stage, he even got down from the stage and just went ahead and he completely, like, how would I say, he joined the mosh pit himself. Playing the guitar riff, managing to shove someone over every now and then, continuing to play, shoving again. He managed to keep up with the beat too, and I was like, wow, that's fucking awesome. I mean, I just had like a huge grin on my face because I love those mosh pits. And to actually see one being performed because of our music, it was like so awesome. Speaking of our friends, a lot of our friends that attended that concert are like friends that hung out with us a lot over the years. Sometimes they worked with us to carry our equipment to upcoming gigs. Sometimes they pretty much just showed up at the house just to chill out, listen to us practice, and pretty much just have something to headbang to or something like that. Like some of those friends' names, Phil Howarth, he's pretty, I don't know, he's kind of goofy, but pretty funny at the same time. Other people included Riley Hill, Jamel Smith, Cody Martin, There's also Jesse Johns, who, let's see, I'm just gonna let you know right now. He's, I don't know if he still goes by this nickname, but one day, because I shot a video of him and Dave actually trying to climb a really thin tree and it kept falling back, Dave dared Jesse to do it, and Jesse responded with, "I'm too fat." We both had a laugh at him when he said that. I think I may have been stoned that day, I don't know, but I think we all were. Then, I don't know why, but I just started calling him Bennigan Fat Guy, because he said, "I'm too fat." And when I first said Bennigan Fat, I don't know where I got the Bennigan from. What does that even mean? Is that some sort of a restaurant or something? Club? I don't know. Bennigan Fat Guy. And the first time I ever called him that, he literally just burst out laughing because it reminded him of that hilarious video that I shot. But eventually the fat guy got taken out of the nickname, and all of a sudden it's like people are now just calling Jesse Bennigan. One time he was actually not listening to us, I believe. We kept saying, "Jesse, Jesse," no response. "Jesse," no response. And then finally, "Bennigan!" He finally turns around. He's like, "What?" I don't know if he intentionally forgot that his name was actually Jesse, or he was actually just waiting for us to call him Bennigan. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him in about 6 months now or something like that. But I don't know if people still refer to him as Bennigan. That'd be cool if they still did, though. Because friends, they just in some ways it went viral around the place, if you want to call it that. The nickname became viral, and all of a sudden he's got all his other friends calling him Bennigan, Bennigan, Bennigan. Alright, well, moving on. June of 2012 was Behold the Shadow's most busy. Actually, maybe I should refer to themselves as Seeking Asylum, because we were seeking asylum at the time. June of 2012 was our most busy month in terms of concerts, because we performed 4 concerts in the month of June. What else we got? The first concert we played was an outdoor concert in Scotland, Ontario, which is the first time ever that Behold the Shadows had played outdoors. That was like a pretty fun time. I always wanted to know what it's like to play outdoors as well. Playing outdoors is pretty fun. It was like a house party. There was guests everywhere. Even if there was people not even paying attention to the music, I didn't care, because, well, I'm here, I'm playing the music, I'm outside, I get to have a beer after the show's over, and I'm just having a good time with the band. And so yeah, we played our songs, and I think we got approached by someone saying, "You guys should call yourselves Megadeth, be like a Megadeth cover band." And we were like, "No, thank you. We're not trying to be a cover band. We're trying to be our own. We're just big fans of Megadeth." That went pretty good. We played a couple other concerts. One was back at the Six Nations Community Hall. Another was at a church or something. I forgot why we were at a church. But there's I'm just gonna let you know right now. The next one is kind of a serious thing. In mid-June of 2012, we performed a gig at Club Envy in Brantford, Ontario. That was our first time playing at a public club. And, well, it didn't really go that well, because we were I don't know, on the middle of the schedule or something like that. But because of other performances, taking the time just to set up equipment, we didn't end up playing till 11:30 at night. Which I was totally fine with, because they're like, "Oh, good, night shows. I love night shows." Unfortunately, some people did not see it that way. And apparently, how would I say, we finally got on. We played 3 songs, I think. And all of a sudden, the sound guy, he's like, "Last song, boys." And I was thinking to myself, what? But we're not even halfway through our fucking set. What the fuck is this supposed to be? And, well, I don't know. I still don't know why they did that. Was it because of timing, or just because of the way we were? Were we the heaviest band there and they couldn't take it or something? I don't know. Either way, things didn't really go well. I got a little ticked off. Had a couple beers because of that. I did not get drunk. I got a little buzzed, but it was just like, I feel like we got fucking screwed, man. We got fucking screwed over. This fucking sucks. And look, we sat here for a few hours waiting for our turn to perform, and you didn't fucking do this to anybody else. We're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Be fucking professional, you fucking bitch. So we left. That did not really like it. That did not really end well. Let's see. A little bit later on after that, we once again renamed ourselves. Because as it turns out, Seeking Asylum is already a copyrighted band. So we came up with the name Cynical. Cynical, which was actually not spelled in the way it's actually spelled. It was not spelled Cynical. It was actually spelled Sinycal. As in, we're putting the word sin in there. Sins of the fathers, whatever that crazy bullshit is. At least I don't know why I spell it like that, but it just was. Then we were finally made it into the summer. We made a couple more original songs, and we performed at another outdoor concert at the outside the Woodland Culture Center in Brantford, Ontario. If anyone's been at the Woodland Culture Center, it's a really nice place. You should go there one day. However, we got a little bit of a situation that happened at that concert. We did not get screwed over. We almost burned to death. It was like 102 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Let's see, I got multiple burns, not just sunburn, but damaged skin. And also, burns came from touching the hot metal equipment because I had completely forgotten that it was really hot outside. And I literally grabbed my cymbal stand, my metal cymbal stand, to take it up to the stage. Grabbed it, I'm like, holy fuck! That fucking hurts! Ah, shit! I look at my hands, they're freaking red as hell. And I'm like, oh my god, how the fuck am I supposed to carry this stuff up now? So, I think I had to get I don't know if I was wearing a pair of gloves or something like that, or I had to carry like a blanket or something, and keep the stands at like a distance from my face so I don't accidentally get cut by the burning metal. And then to make things worse, I gotta sit with my legs literally, the snare drum is literally right between my legs, and the edges of it and everything is metal. And with all the heat, I'm like, oh god, I just hope my legs don't accidentally close in while I'm double kicking, and I don't accidentally get burned on the metal. While we played, there were many times where Jake, he was literally jumping up and down, and it looked like as if he was actually jumping up and down because of the beat of the music, but truth be told, he was jumping up and down because he was wearing sandals on a literally burning stage at 102 degree weather without being in the shade, and his feet were literally, not literally, don't worry, his feet were on fire. Not literally on fire, don't take that the wrong way. So yeah, it was pretty hot. We all got damaged in the heat. I don't know if Dave did, or Joe, but Jake did, and I definitely did. I was wearing no shirt. I had shorts on. At least I was wearing actual shoes, but that really just helped me with the feet, nothing else. I had to stay in the shade the rest of the time, and I look at myself, I look like a piece of raw flesh. I mean, not raw, yeah, raw flesh, I might as well call it that, raw meat. You know what it looks like, the meat you get at grocery stores or shit. Why am I even talking about this? Okay, let's see. In August 2012, we played another outdoor concert, part of the Swinefest show. Included that was a famous musician from the Res. His name is Derek Miller. If you heard that name, you know who I'm talking about. He's a musician who grew up on the Res, I think. Did he grow up on? Yeah, I think so. made a big name for himself. He plays rock songs and a few others. He's a pretty famous guy, and it was actually kind of an honor to perform with someone like him at one of our concerts. Let's see. It went pretty good. We actually managed. It was not 102 degrees Fahrenheit. It managed to drop to at least like 85 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that, or close to 90. So it was, in some ways, it was almost like your average summer day, but still a really hot day. But luckily the stage was in the shade, so I didn't have to worry about my stuff getting damaged in the heat. But that wasn't really the problem I was having, though. There was a small problem that we were having, at least I was having, while we were performing our set. I believe it was, there was this one drum on the drum set, because it was not my drum set I was using. There was like one of the rack toms. Every time I kept hitting it, it kept like moving away, because I don't think it was securely fastened properly. And every now and then I had to play the music while at the same time trying to get the rack tom back in its original position. Play it again, it keeps moving out of the way even when I'm not hitting it, because of the force of the bass drum is causing it to move back. And I was thinking to myself, fuck, this thing's better stop moving. I'm getting so pissed off here. But it went pretty good. Things went pretty well. And the set, we did all of our set properly. The fact that the drum kept moving did not really affect the set at all, because there was the other toms as well that I kept using, and eventually I got tired of moving it. I'm like, fine, I'm just gonna ignore you. You can go ahead and move back there all you want. I don't give a shit anymore. However, after the set was over, I had to be taken home because I suffered an illness. I got pretty sick. Because of the big heat and everything, I was like having trouble breathing troubles, and it felt like something was, I think I ate a fish or something as well, like they were serving fish or something like that, and something got stuck in my throat and probably slashed something down there. It wasn't serious, but it hurt like hell. I had to take so many pills just to calm it down. Yeah, not one of my proudest moments, because I hate having trouble. There are times where I have trouble breathing in the heat. That's why I gotta stay in the shade a lot to get cooled off, because I don't know, there might be just something wrong with me. As the summer passed into the fall, we created like I would say a bizarre original. It was one of our most popular songs, mainly because of what we called it. It was a really like catchy thing. Okay, why do I keep fucking saying catchy? Whatever. It was a pretty kick-ass song, but we named it Big Boy Pants. Yes, you just heard that right. We named a death metal song Big Boy Pants. The reason we called that was because we're all fans of that movie, The Other Guys, with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. If you've ever seen that movie, you probably know there's this one scene where Mark gets upset because things are not going his way. Then Will gets up in his face, saying, "You wake up in the morning and say, I got my big boy pants on. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants." And we just love that argument, that Will just spazzing out like that. It was like really hilarious. And so one day we kept reenacting that same sequence to each other. And then one day we randomly decided, let's just randomly just call this song Big Boy Pants. And so we called the song Big Boy Pants, and we played it at like a concert. And when we announced that the next song was called Big Boy Pants, I kind of expected this. We heard a bunch of laughter from the audience. But when we played the song, it was one of our most heaviest songs ever. It was pretty surprising that a song with a funny title becomes one of your most heavy songs. Got a lot of mosh pits too. I really liked the breakdown midway through that song. It was also pretty good. I love doing breakdowns. In September, we returned to Club Envy for the first time since that one day when we got screwed over. We made amends with employees, performed our set, did not get told last song, boys. It was a success, and we were like, this should have happened in June. But whatever. It didn't happen then, it happened now. I'm totally fine with that. Let's move on. Let's see. And then as time went on, as 2012 was coming to the close, we began to change our style from heavy metal to death metal. Because I began to improve a little bit more because, well, that was kind of some of the things we wanted to try out for our next number of songs. Like I kept doing like blast beats, which if you're a drummer, you know what a blast beat is. And for those who don't, it's just how to say it's where you're hitting like the ride or the hi-hat really fast, while at the same time you're hitting the snare drum with your other hand really fast with techniques including flying finger techniques. I used a weird looking wrist technique that looks pretty unusual, which anytime I watch a recording of me doing something like that, I'm saying to myself, I don't know if I'm blast beating or jacking off, but whatever. Let's see, we due to the style, we changed our songs. Actually, no, we didn't change our songs. What the fuck am I saying? We changed the name of the band again. For like, what is this, like the fourth name we had in 2012? But it ended up being the longest name we ever had. Minus, yes, no. While we were mainly known as Behold the Shadows, it was not our longest known name. Our longest name that we've had was Black Winter. But here's the thing, when it comes to Black Winter, there's no C in the word black. I don't remember why we didn't put a C in there, but we just, if anybody asked, we just said because fuck you, that's why. Let's see, that name lasted from October 2012 to February 2014, which I'll get to in a little bit, but before I do, we ended up getting so heavy, so psychotic, if you want to call it that, that playing Slayer songs has literally been just warm-up songs before we played our actual music. Let's see. However, in November of 2012, how would I say, history repeated itself when we returned to Club Envy. We got screwed over again, this time being worse than last time. This time we knew we were playing at the proper time. At least I think we were. We played one song, and then we got the call saying, sorry, either you guys are done now, or you're playing one more, but that's it. And Jake, well, there was a big silence for about a few seconds, and Jake was like, are you fucking serious? What the fuck? We just started. And I don't know exactly, we all got pissed off at that guy. I don't know if he saw it or anything, but I flipped him off and stuff like that, and I think we had to hold Jake back from, because I think he was trying to beat the shit out of that guy. I don't blame him, I would have too. But we didn't want to get arrested or anything, or banned from that place ever. The aftermath of that screw job, which I say was the sequel screw job, we ended up taking a 2-month hiatus because we're like, okay, let's take a small break. Come back another time. So we were pretty much out for the rest of the year. In 2013, let's see, the band, we made our return, and more originals were being created, as normal bands do, which for some reason we haven't been able at the time to focus on creating an album. Because I think it was all about like just creating content, making it into like getting more well known, getting more gigs, and just creating like a buzz, like getting talked about. We played at numerous locations that we didn't play in 2012, including Cambridge. These were all in Ontario. We played in Cambridge, London. What else did we do? Kitchener. Did we do Kitchener? Yes, we did. Kitchener. No, some was the next year. That was actually Brantford and Schweigen. Pretty much. Actually, and Hamilton. Don't forget that. That's always a good place to perform, in Hamilton. In May 2013, we joined the Kitchener Metal Fest, which was taking place at the Chrysalids Theatre in Kitchener, Ontario. And I took some looks at the photos of the place, and I'm like, it's literally a big theater. There's a lot of people come to this. I don't know, let's check it out. And lo and behold, we got at least, I don't know, like 50 people showing up at that one. It's like, okay, this is an improvement. I like it. Let's do this. And so we performed at the Kitchener Metal Fest. It was, holy crap, it was fucking awesome. Like, there was a lot, I wish it was filmed too, because I wish I could relive that one, because it was one of my favorites. After it was done, I started to not feel so good, so I had to leave again. But plus also I was having anxiety issues because I'm not a guy who likes handling with big crowds. What a shame. Let's see, though. However, at the end of June of 2013, that was the last time that Behold the Shadows had performed at the Six Nations Community Hall, which people barely showed up to, so we eventually stopped going to that. We didn't mind, though. Let's see. But the major thing that happened in 2013 was not the gigs. It wasn't the new originals we created. In like late September 2013, I was beginning to have a little dissension with the band. I was going through a lot of stress, anxiety, and a few other like personal issues going on, which I will not discuss because that's completely irrelevant to what I'm about to tell you. Including some of the reason, my attitude had changed a little bit because I looked like I was bored with what I was doing. I wasn't really bored. I was just sad at times and upset about other things going on. And I think it was like, including some stuff like that, was I kept not really speaking during practice sessions. Even when we're discussing new originals, I'm just like sitting there, occasionally nodding, playing like whatever I'm told to play. And after we're done practicing, I immediately just get up and leave without saying a single word. And then finally, because this was a little bit too much for me, on October 19, 2013, I actually announced that I was going to depart from the band. So yes, in October 2013, after 2 years of playing with Behold the Shadows, I left. That really affected the band and some of my friends pretty well, and some family members were also surprised that I left the band. Let's see. The result of my departure was the band kept saying, well, what the fuck do we do now? We don't have a drummer now. What are we going to do? And it wasn't really that difficult, but I believe they eventually decided the best way to handle with this situation was to replace Christian. And so they went ahead. We got a friend of mine named Alex Sky. He's part of another death metal band called Kalahira. They're on Facebook. Check them out. He tried out for the band, I believe. I was there when he was trying out, but eventually he backed out for some reason. I don't remember why, but he backed out, and eventually, for like almost 2 months, it was drummerless. Drummerless? Does that make sense? No. Okay. A band without no drummer. I'll just say that. It was just Dave, Jake, and Joe. Dave on the bass, Joe the lead guitar, Jake rhythm guitarist and vocalist. But there was no drummer. They just kept playing their songs, but there was no drummer. And occasionally I kept thinking to myself, man, this is just fucking sad. And, let's see. In like close to around Christmas time, they were performing like a practice set down in my basement. And then I just went down there randomly, didn't say a word, got behind the kid and helped them play the rest of the set. Said to myself, okay, that was kind of fun. Alright, gotta go. But then I stopped because I thought maybe I'd speak with the band, and because I can tell, like by the looks in their faces, they were not having as much fun as they used to when I was around. And each one of them had asked me to think about making a return. Because, well, it didn't really sound the same without me, even if they had another drummer. So on Christmas Day in 2013, literally on Christmas Day, I announced on my Facebook page that I had officially returned to Behold the Shadows. So I was only gone for 2 months after I departed. I went ahead and I told them exactly what was going on through my mind. Because as many of you already know, I currently star in 2 horror films, Disturbance and Disturbance Part 2. Around the time where I was about to start filming the first Disturbance, I was afraid that being part of this band was actually going to cause me to be more stressful, pissed off, and just like a can't be bothered attitude. And I was afraid to take any risks, so I thought I would leave the band, see what I would do, but as it turns out, it didn't really affect my filming that much, because the filming took place at my school during school hours. If you've seen my movie, you know that place was my school. But when I returned, I also said that I wanted a new agreement with the band. I wanted to say if I'm requesting time off, I want to be given it, no questions asked, because I would feel a lot more safer, more comfortable with being part of the band, and they agreed to those terms, and lo and behold, I was back as the drummer of Behold the Shadows. After that, we went on hiatus for the Christmas holidays so we can spend time with our family. And to kick off the 2014 year, we gained an interest in getting a new lead singer. We decided to add a 5th member of the band, thus breaking the tradition of just being 2 sets of brothers that it's been for the nearly 2.5 years. And let's see. So we decided, because considering Jake, well, he could do good at death growls, and so could Joe. Playing guitars and singing vocals at the same time can be really challenging. If you're a guitarist yourself out there listening to this, you probably know what I'm talking about. Because it's like literally you're playing riffs on your guitars, while at the same time you got to remember what you got to say. You got to remember this vocal. You got to remember what to play at what time. And with the stuff we were doing, we played a lot of complicated riffs. So, in February 2014, we brought in this guy named Jordan Elfner, and because we put up a notice on our Facebook page that we were looking for a new vocalist, and if anybody was out there interested in being a vocalist for a death metal band, just let us know. And Jordan Elfner, he messaged us. He said he had an interest, so we brought him in. Played a few songs with him, a few songs that he knew, like a few cover songs he knew, and we were like, this guy's got it. This guy's great. So we decided to go ahead, and Jordan ended up joining the band, and the result of our new singer, we decided, considering we were taking another new direction, we finally called ourselves Behold the Shadows. Yeah, 48 minutes into this video, and finally I'm coming to the part where we call ourselves Behold the Shadows. We took a small hiatus from being on concerts, but we were still practicing, because we had to get Jordan to know our originals, listen to our music, get our vocals right, and prepare for something. About a month later, for a concert that we were going to play, which was going to be Jordan's first concert, it was going to take place in London, Ontario, on March 30th, 2014. It was, as I called it, the 3/30/14 concert. And I called it that because I wanted to say it's the beginning of a new era, like dawning of a new era. Because this was the first time we performed as a band called Behold the Shadows, and the first time ever that Jordan was going to play with us. And so, lo and behold, Behold the Shadows was finally born. And I kept putting updates on Facebook saying 3/30/14 is getting closer. And then finally we performed in London for the 3/30/14 concert. I had that footage filmed. I forgot who was filming it, but it was filmed on the video cameras that I had used for my movie Disturbance, and what is it? I believe I still got the footage actually on my laptop right now, and I'm considering possibly posting that on my YouTube channel if any of you guys are interested. But it's only if you guys are interested and hearing what my band sounded like. If there's any death metal fans that want to listen to it, just let me know, and maybe I'll give it a consideration. After that 3:30:14 concert, we became more socially active, like online, due to our success. I briefly used my Twitter account at Maracle Man, which I still use, and you can follow me if you want to on that. We used it to provide updates on future concerts, future songs, and updates on the band itself. Like so. And in April, I believe it was, of 2014, we started working with this guy named Clifton Martin, who became our manager. He had a studio at his house, which is pretty cool. And we decided to record 5 originals to create like an EP. If you guys know what an EP is, right? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't hear what you're saying. What am I saying? Wow. Let's see. I think we recorded Death Impalement, The Harlot, Big Boy Pants. What the hell was the other one? I don't know. But one of the ones we did was Never Will I See. A song called Never Will I See. Which was, sounds crazy, but it was literally recorded a day before we actually recorded it. Like, we were sitting in the studio and we just started playing some new riffs, and this was also the first time ever that we actually had clean vocals. We had death growls on the song, but we also had clean vocals on it too. Like, Jordan went from singing a death growl voice to all of a sudden singing in like a regular voice. I don't know if it's called regular voice, I'm not really sure. It was actually, and when it comes to me actually recording my drumming with these songs, one single mistake, and I kept saying, no, I fucked up. Let's start this thing over. Let's start over. Come on. Even if it was something small and barely audible on the EP itself, I was still like, nope, I fucked up. Let's try this again. It's gotta be picture perfect. So we did. And about some time after that, we created a new song. It's one of my favorites, actually. I think it's literally my all-time favorite original from the band. It was a really big hit from us too. It's called Anxiety. And Anxiety was like a pretty awesome song because it started off with some build-ups, and then eventually like a pretty awesome blast beat and many double kicks. Again, it's hard for me to describe how the songs were like, but I'm doing the best I can here. And then after we created Anxiety, we returned to the Kitchener Metal Fest. This time it was not at the Chrysalids Theatre. This time it was at a place, I think it was called the Waxen Pub in London. No, not London, Kitchener. I don't know if it was called that. I don't know, but it was... part of our set was actually documented by somebody who was filming on like a balcony up above. And I believe... what was it? It was actually Anxiety that was filmed. And which I thought was pretty amazing, because it's my favorite, all-time favorite original from our band, and it was also the first time ever, I believe, that we had a wall of death. If anybody's a death metal fan, they'll know what a wall of death is when it comes to the audience and the crowd. It's where half of the audience is on one side, half of the audience is on the other. There's like a big space, open space in the middle, and when the singer gives you the command, they all charge like two armies in a war about to fight each other. And man, there's epic moshing after that. the rest is history. Let's see. Then after that, I believe that was on May 31st when that happened, and then after that I requested time off from the band because I was beginning to film Disturbance Part 2 during the summer, because I was coming up and I was once again afraid that was going to conflict with my schedule with the band. However, I don't think it really did affect anything, because I said I would. I made an agreement saying I would work with the band all June long because the filming was going to take place in July. So yeah, I worked with the band all June long. I think we made. Did we make? I think we made at least one new original after that. I don't remember, but in July, shockingly, I came back at the end of July. I thought the film was going to take all summer long, but it only took like a month. Mainly because considering it was the summer holidays, I'll talk about the film of the Disturbance in a future episode of the Maracle Seating, but because of the quick time that I had to film the second film, I was back to work with the band before I knew it, which I was fine with because it gave us at least 3 weeks to prepare for the upcoming Simcoe Metal Fest in Simcoe, Ontario. That was going to take place at like the middle of August. So we performed that show, and then we performed a show at Charlie's Bar in Brantford, Ontario. But then after that, like something strange happened, which was our singer Jordan. He didn't show up to practice the next day, or the next one, or the next one, or the next one, or the next one. We were just wondering, and we were not able to get in contact with them. We were trying to contact them, and we couldn't. We were like, what the hell's happening here? Why can't we contact Jordan? What the hell's happening? Why isn't he showing up? And then, like, it was like after almost 2 months of Jordan no-showing, we eventually had no choice. We had to fire him. So we fired Jordan in October 2014. And the band had also taken another hiatus due to, well, not just that, but also my brother and his girlfriend, Becca Miller. They gave birth to my beautiful niece, their beautiful daughter, Peyton Maracle. She's still pretty cute right now as we speak. So yeah, we had to fire Jordan, and we were eventually back to square one, if you want to call it that. Oh, the irony. We fired him in October, the same month that the band had originally formed in 2011. And now after we were back to just the two sets of brothers. It was me and Joe and Dave and Jake. After like 3 years of being with the band, we're like, wow, this is exactly how we started things off. However, we got a big... I'm going to talk to you guys now about something amazing and big that we did close to the end of October. We reached a deal with Derek Miller to perform with him again, this time on the brand new 6 a.m. sessions on sixarrowsmedia.com. So this was going to be a live show, a live broadcast. And I was thinking to myself, a live broadcast, like online? Like, oh my god, that's just got to be the most nerve-wracking thing ever. And truth be told, it literally was. Like, I was nervous as fuck. Like, it was like, wow. I knew for a fact, considering this is an online show, I'm going to be being watched by people, not just like here around here, but people around the world. The band was also talking about it. I said Derek made promos on sixarrowsmedia.com. If you want, I can give you the link to sixarrowsmedia.com, like in the link of this description. If you want to check that out, because there's a lot of great Aboriginal artists. Not just Behold the Shadows, but there's like a few others that you'd like there. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that we hyped up this concert because we knew this was going to be the biggest thing we ever done. And indeed it was. This was like literally the first time ever that we were going to be performing a live broadcast. And on November 1st, 2014, it was the day of the Six Arrows Media live web broadcast. And it was watched by nearly 3,000 people around the world, which is like literally, I'm just going to say it's officially it was our biggest number of people that have ever seen us or anybody else. Other performers there included Derek Miller, the Lindas, Logan Stotts, Jeff Doreen, Sherry Maracle, Brent Diabo, and so many. Chili Chase, I think? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and Ollivanders. It was like so many, etc. That was like a 2.5 hour show. We performed like second, and after we were done performing, we had an interview with Derek where we talked about like us pretty briefly, what we were doing, and how great we were doing as a band. And I really had a great time as well. And I gotta tell you, I was nervous going into this when we had finally gone on live. But when we got on stage and I was back in my familiar territory, I'm like, okay, this is just another concert. Yes, there's cameras rolling and we got people watching around the world, but hey, this is what we were doing. And so after that was done, we stayed back. We watched the other performers. We enjoyed the music, had a couple beers. And then, let's see, we were doing amazing due to the success of the 6 a.m. sessions broadcast. It's like, then we told them, of course, we're here for this if you want us to perform anything else. Then around Christmas 2014, the band once again took another hiatus. For some reason, it's always around the Christmas times. We're always taking a hiatus. But this time it was mainly because Dave and Jake, they had a family member pass away. So, yeah, they were out for a while. So, yeah, pretty much took a break. Heading into 2015, which is obviously, this year. Or if you're watching this in the future years, the year I put this video up online. Let's see, to kick off 2015, we decided to recontact Jordan Elfner because we finally managed to get in contact with him. Called Jordan about the possibility of returning as the lead vocalist. Almost in a heartbeat, Jordan had agreed to come back. So, Jordan came back, and once again, it was me, Joe, Dave, Jake, and Jordan. And it was pretty good. I honestly didn't really care about the reasons why he had no-showed before because, well, he did say something about it being really personal, something like that, other things going on. And I'm like, yep, that's familiar to me. We had to cancel a concert for the first time ever in late January 2015 because Joe and I, we were gonna go on a vacation to visit family over in the place we were born, Vancouver, British Columbia, which is literally my second home. I love that place. I think I might return soon. Thus, we put the band on hiatus again, but this at the same time allowed Jordan to get back on track with the band and start reading the lyrics to the new songs we had created with when he was absent. And I believe we were finally going to intend to release our EP record on February 28, 2015. However, that ended up being postponed to March 22nd, 2015 due to some things going on. Speaking of February 28th, 2015, that's also the same day we returned to the Six Arrows Media Studio in Ashwegan to film us playing a couple songs, this time with Jordan. Because Jordan wasn't with us in the original broadcast in November. We did another interview after that, where we talked about how we were doing since the last time we were part of 6 a.m. sessions, and we also I think that that episode is still yet to be posted online. I'm not sure. I think it's still yet to be posted online. Um, I think it's because maybe they figured out that we were no longer a band now. But however, as March came in of this year, I was like dealing with a lot of stress, depression, and more anxiety, which is causing me to become hurt a lot. I was sick, getting sick a lot. I had so many things going on in my life. I was getting headaches, drowsiness. Uh, my head felt like it was going to explode at times. Also, the band was starting to rise into more heavier metal than ever, and the new originals created by the band was causing me to have headaches, chills, and just be plain pissed off all the time because the stress was too much for me to handle. I was also having a few personal issues going on between my brother and I, which I will not mention because that's my personal life. I'm not talking to you guys about my personal life. However, I will mention that I do have multiple disorders I suffer from. For those who don't know, mostly all of you, I'm autistic. I suffer from autism. Asperger's syndrome as well. Tourette syndrome. What else do I got? ADD, ADHD, and a lot of the stressful schedule of not just these songs but traveling as well to these gigs had been causing me to get tired, feel a little sick, and just my head always hurts. And I felt like I was going to explode, and I didn't want to have that happen. So, I believe it was on March 11th, 2015, where I had a meeting with Wall of the Shadows. I told them exactly what was going on with me, why I had been showing less enthusiasm and not looking so good. And I finally told them that I had wanted to leave the band again this time for the sake of my health and the fact that because of the new direction the band was going in, I didn't want to. It was not something I was interested in because I was fine with where we were at. But that was totally up to them if they wanted to continue on. It's just I know to myself, if I didn't want to be a part of it, I didn't have to be a part of it. So they eventually said yes, they're going to go up to a little bit heavier death metal. And they were going to move on without me, if that's what I wanted, which I told them, alright then. So pretty much we all made an agreement, and March 11, 2015 was the day I had announced my departure from Behold the Shadows. This time it was permanent, because that was literally the last time I was with the band. Let's see, they once again brought in Alex Sky from Kalahira to be the new drummer, and this time he was up for it. And he decided he was going to become the permanent drummer of Behold the Shadows, which was awesome. And about 11 days after I had announced that I was going to leave, I said that I was still going to be part of our scheduled concert on March 22nd, 2015, in Langton, Ontario. So I thought it would be great that I perform one last show with the band. And going into my last concert, I was thinking to myself, I've been doing this for 3.5 years now. And yet I'm finally going to be saying goodbye to all this. And while I know, yes, I had the choice of actually staying, but I knew if I did, I would be taking a lot of big risks because of my disorders and my stress, my depression, and my anxiety. And I knew it was going to be too much for me to handle, so I'm like, this is for the best. One last concert, and then it's going to be all over. And it was pretty fun. It was just like old times. Like I kept thinking to myself, it was back in the day where, in the old days when we started, we were just four guys that just started playing music in the basement. And let's see. After it was over, the band continued on after I had finally left, and after I had left the band officially, I actually started feeling a little bit more calmer, more better now, and knowing that the stress of the music was no longer upon me. So yeah, some of you might call me a quitter because of this, but if you want to, I honestly don't give a shit if you call me a quitter, because I did it for the right reasons, in my opinion. And if you don't think those were the right reasons, that's mainly because you are not me. You never will be me. You're your own self, and you have your opinion. Go ahead and express it if you want to. Let's see. Also, because I had no longer been a part of the band had actually relocated to Alex Sky's house for their new practice area, which I was totally fine with. Even though, yes, I still do miss being part of the music down in my basement. Those were good times. The band performed my first ever post Behold the Shadows concert, where I was no longer part of the band, in once again the same location in Langton on June 5th. I was not there because I was actually busy at the time, which sucks, because that ultimately ended up being Behold the Shadows' very last concert completely. But at the time, none of us knew that was the case. Because after that, the band began showing signs of ceasing all operations. The band was practicing less and less. Alex eventually left the band due to having conflicts with his band, Kalahira, in late June, because working two bands at once can be pretty stressful. And, well, Dave, I believe, was going to be doing something for school elsewhere, and Jake had announced that he was actually going to be moving to Edmonton, Alberta. And then finally, on July 11th, 2015, was when it all happened, when it all ended. July 11, 2015 is when the surviving members, Joe and Jordan, announced that Behold the Shadows is no more. So basically, close to 4 years. The band has been alive for almost 4 years. And, well, we had a great run. We played a lot of awesome concerts. We played a lot of awesome original musics. We had pictures taken, kick-ass ones. I remember there was this one time where we were outside my friend Phil's house, and it was winter time, I think it was, in the beginning of 2014, I think. But it was like negative 10 degrees out there. It was fucking freezing cold. I was freezing my ass off. And, well, there was also a metal pipes. Eventually I lost all feeling on my hands. And it was just so hilarious. Because there was this one pipe, it was a barn or something I think we were in. And I didn't know where I was going, and I just bonked my head on that pipe. Everybody's just laughing. It was really hilarious, but I managed to. It was also a good opportunity to see Dave actually smash a guitar. Yeah, Dave actually got a chance to smash a guitar. The good thing is, it was a guitar that didn't really work anymore. And it was also fun. It was really fun to watch him smash it. I think I almost got hit with many pieces of wood because of that. Many pieces of the guitar went flying everywhere, and I covered up my face a few times to make sure I didn't get hit right in the eye. Let's see, my reaction to the band coming to an end in July of this year, I was shocked, and I thought it's had something to do with the fact that I left in March, and because of that, they only played one concert after I had left. But I was told the reason why the band was no more is because Dave and Jake were no longer around, and Alex had left. Just stay with Kalahira, and Joe and Jordan were the only two left. So eventually they decided the best thing for everybody was to announce that the band was going to disband. It's a pretty sad moment, but because the band had been together for almost 4 years, and it was like pretty much a silent disbandment, because I don't think they ever announced it. It was more of a silent disbandment. Quietly walking out, if you want to call it that. So currently, right now, Dave actually recently came back. Jake is he still in Edmonton? I think so. And as for Joe and Jordan, considering they're the two who really wanted to make a living out of the music, they actually recently formed a new band, a new death metal band. Pretty much, yeah, it's starting from scratch, but they have a new band. It's called A Light in Autumn. Autumn, like, you know, the fall, autumn. Yeah, A Light in Autumn. A Light in Autumn. It's pretty cool. They haven't had any concerts yet. I think they've created a few original songs now. But, I don't know, I just don't know where they are, because I'm not part of this band, and this band is completely taking place at a new location. But Jordan retains being the vocalist of the band. Joe is once again the lead guitarist of this band. And Dave actually decided to join it after their original bassist left, or quit, or was fired. I don't know, one or the other. So that makes Joe, Jordan, and Dave like 3 members of the former Behold the Shadows, now part of a new band. So I'm guessing maybe that Behold the Shadows' legacy eventually became A Light in Autumn. But that's only my assumption, my opinion, if you want to call it that. That's the only thing I'm assuming. Let's see. So yeah, I am no longer like a public musician, but I'm still a drummer. So, whew, alright. Oh my god, this was quite the length of a video. I didn't think I was going to last this long, but, well, talking about a music career can be pretty long. And I'm wondering if any of you guys are still listening to this right now. But if you are, I hope you enjoyed listening to the story of my music career as part of Behold the Shadows. From October 13th, 2011 to March 11th, 2015. That's how long I was part of the band. So I was not part of the band in the last, like 4 months that they were there. They were still part of a band. But my drum set, I'll let you guys know, is still currently in my basement of my house, inside like drum cases that I had bought like over a year ago. They're like, the reason they're like all packaged up and everything is because, for one thing, the basement, there is actually no place for me to put them now. Because there's like so many things going on in the basement now. But they're all there. They're still packed up on the very occasion that maybe one day I'll bring them back out and play the drums again. Despite me no longer being an exclusive musician, I still have an interest in playing drums, and I still enjoy heavy metal and death metal music, because it's my favorite type of music, and a lot of you probably agree with me. It's awesome to listen to. Yeah, keep supporting metal. Alright, I'm going to conclude this video by once again thanking all of you for enjoying this edition of the Maracle Seating. For my next episodes, I'm going to be moving on to reviewing movies, let me stop you there for a sec. Yes, I'm going to be reviewing movies, even though I already do that, but this is not going to be in CinemaSins 2 expansion format. LOL. This is just going to be like just like this episode that you heard me talk about. This is literally me giving you my honest opinion, not making so many jokes, or like, I'm not doing anything like CinemaSins does. I'm just being a critic, if you want to call me that. No, I'm not really being a critic. I'm Actually, if you want to call me a critic, go ahead. I'm just like giving you my opinion on these movies, video games, or music. How this is, how it should not have been, what should be there, what should not have been there. Or what should have been there, what should not have been there. Let's see. I may post footage of Behold the Shadows on my YouTube channel, but that's once again like all up to you guys. If you want to listen, if you want to see like the video of our 3:30:14 concert, just simply put it in the comments section. That I'm gonna put in the comment section like a question saying, "Do you want me to post the 3:30:14 concert?" And if I get enough likes and comments saying yes, I'll go ahead and I'll post it for you guys if there's anyone out there who's interested. Let's see. Also, other things I'm gonna do. My future episodes will be on movies, video games. I pretty much just told you that already, and also topics WWE related because I'm a huge wrestling fan. My father is a professional wrestler himself. Let's see. I think he's close to retirement now, though. But I'm not talking about my father right now. I'm talking about what I'm going to do for future episodes of the Maracle Seating. If anybody has any possible ideas on which movies they want me to review, like a movie franchise, example, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Back to the Caribbean, I don't know, something like that, or pretty much anything, let me know which movie or even TV shows that you want me to review. I'll think about it. I'll take a look at them, then I'll review it myself, and I might just end up putting that in a future episode of the Maracle Seating. You never know. Things might just go awesome. Let's see. I'm going to finish the video now by telling you guys, continue to enjoy my content, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys next time on the Maracle Seating.